Stop. Whatever you're doing right now, stop. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't coincidence. You didn't stumble upon this video by accident. You've been doing manifestation backwards your entire life. And tonight, that changes forever. You've been told to think rich, speak it into existence, and it will come. But what if I told you the real secret is this? Do the thing before you believe it's possible. Before you feel worthy. Before the money is in your account. I know that sounds impossible, maybe even dangerous. So why does it work for some and destroy others? Why are you hearing this message right now, at this exact moment in your life? You see, across the globe, something remarkable is happening. More and more souls are awakening to ancient truths that have been hidden in plain sight. You are one of them. You're part of a growing collective of individuals who are remembering who they truly are. And while you may feel like you're walking this path alone, know this: your awakening, your raised vibration, it's contagious. It's lifting others, even when you can't see it. The light is catching, my friend. Every time you choose abundance over fear, every time you act from your highest self, you're not just changing your life. You're helping to manifest a better world for all of humanity. This is the collective ascension we've been waiting for. And you are essential to it. Let me explain this in a way that will shake your understanding to its core. When Moses approached the burning bush, he didn't think about being a leader first. He acted. He took off his shoes. He stepped forward. He engaged with the divine. The action came first, then the words of prophecy, and finally, the thoughts of liberation for his people. Neville Goddard, one of the great mystic teachers of the last century, put it beautifully. The feeling is the prayer. But how do you create the feeling? Not by thinking about it, by embodying it through action. In Romans 12:2, we're told, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." But notice, it says, be transformed. The being, the action, comes before the mind's renewal. Modern neuroscience is just catching up to what the ancients knew. When you act in a certain way, your brain creates new neural pathways. These pathways generate emotions, and those emotions solidify into beliefs. Dr. Antonio Damasio's groundbreaking research on embodied cognition proves what mystics have always known. The body teaches the mind, not the other way around. This is why affirmations alone leave so many people frustrated. This is why vision boards gather dust. This is why positive thinking without aligned action creates more suffering than joy. There's a word I hear echoing through the comments of seekers everywhere: momentum. You feel it, don't you? That sense that once you start moving in the right direction, forces seem to conspire to help you. But here's what most don't understand. Momentum doesn't begin in your mind. It begins in your feet, in your hands, in the choices you make before you feel ready. Think of momentum like a river. You don't create the current by thinking about water. You step into the stream, and the current takes you. But, and this is crucial, you must step into the right stream. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but sir, how can I act abundant if I can barely pay rent? How can I give when I have nothing? Isn't this irresponsible? These are the questions that keep seekers trapped in survival loops for decades. So let me be crystal clear about what acting abundant really means. Acting abundant is not spending money you don't have on things you don't need. Giving away your last dollar if it means you can't feed your children. Pretending everything is fine when your world is falling apart. Performing prosperity while feeling desperate inside. I've seen too many beautiful souls interpret this teaching literally and end up in worse situations. There was a woman who gave away her grocery money because she thought it would manifest abundance. She ended up hungry and more fearful than before. This isn't abundance. This is self-harm disguised as spirituality. Real abundance, listen carefully now. Real abundance is a state of being that expresses itself through aligned action. It's not about the size of the gesture. It's about the energy behind it. Let me give you practical examples that won't leave you bankrupt. Acting abundant when you're broke. Dress with care and dignity, even if your clothes are old. Keep your space clean and organized. This is abundance of self-respect. Give someone your full attention. This is abundance of presence. Share knowledge or skills freely. This is abundance of wisdom. Smile genuinely at strangers. This is abundance of joy. Write thank you notes. This is abundance of gratitude. Offer to help a neighbor. This is abundance of service. You see, abundance isn't about money. It's about recognizing that you are the wealth you seek. You are the love you crave. You are the security you chase. But here's where most people still get tripped up. And this is perhaps the most important thing I'll tell you tonight. The universe isn't fooled by your performance. If you act as if, but feel fear, lack, or resentment inside, you're not manifesting. You're manipulating, and manipulation always backfires because it comes from separation, not unity. This is about energetic coherence, when your actions, emotions, and deeper knowing are all vibrating at the same frequency. Think of it like tuning a guitar. If one string is out of tune, the whole instrument sounds wrong, no matter how skillfully you play. In the remarkable book, The Law Behind the Laws by Owen Hermstring, a text that's creating waves in consciousness circles, he reveals what he calls the architecture behind manifestation. It's not about wishful thinking or fake it till you make it. It's about what he terms vibrational congruence. When every cell in your body agrees with the reality you're creating. This is echoed in the groundbreaking work found in Cosmic Atravia by Pagizzo, where quantum field theory meets ancient wisdom. The message is clear. Your state of being is the broadcast, not your thoughts alone, not your words alone, not your actions alone, but the coherent field created when all three align. Let me share a practice that will help you understand this viscerally. The coherence test. Before taking any action in the name of abundance, pause and ask yourself, does this action make me feel expanded or contracted? Am I doing this from trust or from trying to trick the universe? Would I take this action even if nothing came back to me? If you feel contraction, stop. If you feel like you're bargaining with the cosmos, stop. If you're attached to a specific outcome, stop. True abundance flows from actions taken in joy, in trust, in the knowing that you are already whole. This isn't positive thinking. This is positive being. My dear friend, I need to speak to something I sense in so many of you. That feeling of being disconnected from your purpose, like something essential is missing or out of sync in your life. You've done the visualizations. You've repeated the affirmations until your throat was sore. Yet still, you feel stuck in the same loops, the same patterns, the same quiet desperation. This isn't because you're doing it wrong. It's because you've been trying to think your way into a new life, instead of living your way into new thinking. You see, that sense of something missing, it's not about what you lack. It's about what you're not expressing. You are a unique expression of the infinite, with gifts that only you can give. But when you wait for permission, for the perfect moment, for enough money, for enough confidence, you rob the world of what you came here to offer. The emptiness you feel, it's the universe mourning the gifts you're withholding. Let me share some stories that will illuminate this teaching. Real experiences from real people who discovered the power of aligned action. There was Maria from Barcelona. She'd been visualizing abundance for months, while her bank account dwindled. One morning, instead of doing her usual affirmations, she felt called to buy flowers, not for herself, but for the elderly woman next door, who'd just lost her husband. Maria could barely afford those flowers, but something in her knew this was important. She bought simple daisies, knocked on the door, and spent an hour listening to stories about a marriage that lasted 60 years. The next day, Maria received a call about a job she'd applied for months earlier and forgotten about. The salary? Exactly what she'd been visualizing. But here's the key. She didn't buy the flowers to get the job. She bought them because in that moment, being the kind of person who brings beauty to grieving hearts felt more important than protecting her last 20 euros. Then there's James from Toronto, brilliant programmer, but paralyzed by perfectionism. He'd been preparing to launch his app for 3 years, waiting until it was perfect, until he felt ready, until the market was right. One day, he heard about the reversal principle and decided to act as if he was already a successful app developer, not by spending money he didn't have, but by releasing his imperfect app and offering free coding tutorials to kids in his community. The app? It failed. But those tutorials? They caught the attention of a tech executive whose daughter was in the class. James was offered a position that paid 3 times what he'd been making. And more importantly, he finally felt alive again. But let me also share a cautionary tale. David from London heard about acting abundant and immediately went out and bought expensive suits on credit, treated colleagues to lunches he couldn't afford, and gave large donations to charities, while his own children needed school supplies. Within months, he was in severe debt and more desperate than ever. What went wrong? David acted from fear, disguised as faith. He performed abundance rather than embodying it. His actions came from the thought, if I do this, then I'll get that. This is manipulation, not manifestation. Remember, true abundance whispers, I give because I am. false abundance shouts, "I give so that I can get." Now, let me give you a clear, practical method you can begin using tonight. I call this the reversal protocol, and it's based on both ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience. Step 1. The identity question. Before you ask for anything, ask yourself, who would I be if I already had this? Not what would you think or feel. Who would you be? How would that person move through the world? What choices would they make? Step 2. The smallest true action. Identify the smallest action you can take that aligns with that identity. Remember, it must feel expansive, not constrictive. It must come from trust, not manipulation. Step 3. The state check. Before taking the action, breathe deeply and check your state. Are you trying to get something, or are you expressing who you truly are? Adjust your energy until you feel the difference. Step 4. The sacred doing. Take the action with full presence. This isn't about the result. It's about who you become in the doing. Let the action teach your nervous system a new way of being. Step 5. The integration pause. After the action, pause. Don't immediately look for results. Instead, notice how you feel. Notice what shifted inside you. This is where the real magic happens, in the integration. Step 6. The momentum build. Each day, take another small aligned action. Let momentum build naturally. Don't force it. Trust the process. Step 7. The receiving state. Practice receiving the small gifts that come, a smile, a green light, a penny on the ground. Abundance often arrives in whispers before it shouts. For those of you who crave deeper understanding, let me connect these teachings to both cutting-edge science and timeless wisdom. In quantum physics, we learn about the observer effect, how the act of observation changes what is observed. But there's a deeper principle at work, the actor effect. When you act, you collapse infinite possibilities into specific realities. You become a co-creator with the quantum field. The HeartMath Institute has documented how heart coherence, achieved through aligned action and elevated emotion, creates a measurable field that extends several feet beyond your body. This field influences others and attracts synchronicities. You literally become a walking blessing when your actions align with your highest truth. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, "You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action." This isn't about detachment. It's about understanding that the transformation happens in the doing, not in the getting. The Kabbalah speaks of Ratzon, the deepest will that precedes thought. When you act from Ratzon, you're not trying to manifest. You're revealing what already exists in potential. Even Jesus taught this principle: give, and it shall be given unto you. Notice, the giving comes first. The action precedes the receiving. My dear friend, as we near the end of our time together, I need you to understand something vital. This isn't just about your personal abundance. We are at a critical moment in human history. The old systems are crumbling. Systems built on scarcity, competition, and fear. The new earth that's emerging requires architects of abundance. And you, yes you, are one of them. Every time you choose trust over fear, every time you act from abundance rather than lack, you're not just changing your life, you're adding to a field of consciousness that's reaching critical mass. Scientists call it morphic resonance. Mystics call it the unified field. I call it the return to remembrance. You may feel like you're walking this path alone, but you're not. Millions are awakening with you. Your light is catching. Your courage is contagious. Your abundance is teaching others that it's safe to trust life again. This is why you found this video. This is why these words are stirring something ancient within you. You're not just learning a manifestation technique. You're remembering who you are. If you're watching this in a hard moment, and I know many of you are, I want you to hear me, really hear me. I see you. I see your struggle. I see your courage in continuing to seek when everything seems dark. Acting abundant isn't about faking it. It's not about pretending your pain doesn't exist. It's about remembering who you are before the fear took hold. It's about that spark of divinity within you that no circumstance can extinguish. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to receive this calling. So I invite you now, in this sacred moment, to make a choice. Not a choice to be perfect, not a choice to have it all figured out, but a choice to take one small aligned action tomorrow. One small step as the person you're becoming, not the person your fears tell you that you are. If this message has stirred something within you, if you feel that ancient recognition, that cosmic yes, then I invite you to declare it. Write in the comments below, I receive this calling. Let your declaration be the first aligned action. Let it be your signal to the universe and to our growing community that you're ready to rewrite your reality. And if you're hungry for more, if you want to dive deeper into these mysteries, I'll be sharing some remarkable resources in the pinned comment below. Books like The Law Behind the Laws and Cosmic Atravia that are opening new doorways of understanding. But remember, the greatest book is the one written by your own experience when you dare to act from your highest truth. My dear friend, until we meet again in this sacred space, remember, you don't need to believe it to begin it. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need to feel worthy to act worthily. Be it, live it, receive it. The universe is waiting for your next move, and so am I. With all my love and faith in your journey, be blessed, dear one. Be blessed.